I'd kind of rather, not have, you know, that's not necessary. If you want it for, different little special moves, please, sure. It's like for knocking out a character, yeah, you have that. And then like certain, like, man catcher, immobilizing or like just, doing something to keep a guy from moving away or running away. Yeah, you can have those special skills, but otherwise, if you want a guy who's just a tank, he just sits there and swings away and takes damage. Yeah, have that. Um, the the idea of morale it's brought up in Lord of the Rings. I think you can apply it to my game as well in formations. So when you have an established formation, it's going to have a value which will be morale, and like how you work out morale. Good question, but I want to say for sure that when the morale reaches zero, the formation falls apart, and since you have character collision, when it falls apart, characters can now squeeze past other characters. Now, how that value is determined, who knows? But hopefully, the ability of the commander. In fact, I think that will be tied to. It's like it's got to be the ability of the commander will determine what that value will be and how high. And so it's one of the skill trees, that branches out. So talked about that. Every structure has a use limit and how much damage it takes over time. So even just structures have durabilities. Others like a timeline. So like with a wooden building, it has a durability of say 50, and in a year's game time frame, its durability goes down to 49. Another year to 48, and this and that. A stone structure, its durability goes down by 1 every 5 years. So stuff like that. That way, you can have when a structure is built, like say a factory, and a factory is the way a factory works out is product A comes in and product B goes out, and then the number of workers C is inside of that factory, and that determines the like all these certain factors of efficiency and productivity. So if you have NPCs in there, and like the longer those NPCs work in there, the longer it's under a single employee as well. As longer as because remember, the NPCs are going to be essentially their own characters. They're going to have families. They're going to have backgrounds. They're going to have certain skill predispositions. And in a lot of cases, they're going to gain experience, and so they're going to put that experience towards certain goals. Since you have no levels, if a NPC is working inside of a factory, he's not a warrior. He doesn't need to be a warrior, so he can put all his skills into working at, whatever skills help him with working in that factory. And as a result, that NPC gets a lot more money, takes that money home, has a better house. You could rob that NPC. An NPC to work for somebody needs a house. They have to have a house, and you can either tell the NPC what house they can have or what kind of house they can have, and that works into the whole like satisfaction of the NPC, because the NPC can stay or leave kind of thing. Ultimately, it's the games that, like I said, game 1, which is faction, is where the company and the player learns how to control NPCs, make NPCs lifelike. Game 2 is land, and how you have structures and interactions within the land, and how you have the NPCs work with the land as well, under your control of manipulating the land. So game 3, you can just go nuts and do whatever you want with NPCs and land. And then when you make Sword for Hire game 3 into an MMO, oh my God, just all these players just do whatever the heck they want, man. I think when it first starts, there'd be a very chaotic, time, because everybody is like, oh, I can establish my own kingdom, and they're going to have that knowledge from the game, Sword for Hire. So when they start the MMO, they're like, yeah, we'll start doing that ourselves, and they're going to, be just bumping elbows, trying to find these little obscure places that they can just, start a little home. There'll be a lot of, fighting and just general bloodshed, but ultimately groups would start developing, and based on just where people kind of either had previous affiliations or they liked certain things, or really just like where they started out. Groups will like wander to different places and just start things up. So the guilds will come together. They'll start either taking land or working, as mercenary groups or as companies, financial companies inside of other kingdoms, and just go from there, based off of what those people do. So, if a mercenary group works with one NPC kingdom and does good service for them, that kingdom is going to, as a result, grow in some way. There will be a result effective upon the landscape. Same with a guild company that decides, oh, well, we're going to start a company here, and if they become effective, they're going to be taxed by the kingdom, and however that'll work out. But let's just say, so as long as they're not taxed too much, that guild decides to stay there, and the money they generate builds up the kingdom, and the kingdom is receives a bonus as a result. So that's really what I want to see in a game. That's why I keep coming up or throwing out these ideas. But I think ultimately that is what a lot of players would like and would want to see is, when they log on, there has to be no background. It's all what they create. And if they want to create their own thing, so be it. Please let them. Let every player have the chance to literally leave a mark upon the landscape. And other people to see it. Witness it. So, yeah, that's my idea for a game.